Okay, so welcome to this video. Today we are going to be talking about DOM manipulation. Of course, document object model manipulation, how to manipulate HTML with JavaScript. So I think we can leave here. Yeah, let's just leave the screen. This is yeah. So I have my time now opened up. Let me just leave some directories and I'll show you what I'm doing in a bit. So yeah, user C is which is my C drive, my main drive for my SSD, and users here, DSOGMass is my nickname. Now, if I want to change to a directory, let's say a new folder, like the desktop folder. Now look at this DOM manipulation folder. I have it created so on my desktop. So I need to get there and I need to navigate to the desktop directory. So now this CD stands for change directory. It's a command line command that you use to change directory. So once you press CD, it automatically changes your directory for you. So I think to leave a directory, you just need to press CD dot dot, yeah, and it will leave that directory. So let's go back to desktop and navigate to the folder which is DOM manipulation. I think and just copy it over here and Control C and just paste it. Uh, Control V, yeah, DOM manipulation and just alright. Sorry, there are some things I need to go back and delete that last D from there. Yeah, so CD DOM manipulation and yeah, so I'm in the DOM manipulation folder, and to open a VS Code, I just press code dots and VS Code opens that up. So if I press enter, just give VS Code like some 2 to 3 seconds and it's opened that up for you. So I think I'm in that directory now. DOM manipulation, if you can see everything here. So this is the DOM manipulation folder. If you want to open up your terminal like real quick, you can just press Control Shift backtick. Depends on your operating system. Control Shift backtick. I think for Mac users on Mac OS, that will be Command Shift backtick. But then it depends. You can always come here to search for different commands in this search icon here. So let me close that up. So my terminal is up. Here you can see build with AI agent, but we don't need that because I'm not building anything with AI today. So can just like cancel that out. So yeah, we can create a new file and I'm just call that training.html. Yeah, so the reason why you see this icon is because of VS Code. VS Code icons, yeah, is an extension. If you look at towards your left, you see things like source control. If you want to push to GitHub, the version control system for hosting your repos. A repo is just a project that you have locally on your machine that you want to push to the cloud. So source control here, yeah, it's for debugging. This is for debugging your code if you have any issues. This is a remote explorer. These are extensions that we're talking about. These are for agentic sessions, and this is GitLens for viewing the new changes you made. And we also have other things like in your face, and I love this extension actually. If there are some issues in your code, the smiley face guy just changes his face like something's wrong with your code. So we can just write some quick HTML syntax, doc type HTML, calm down, some space, and write some new HTML syntax and stuff. Going down, we have the head tag. We can next some things in the head tag. I think we can close that up by writing head. Of course, your head tag depending if you want to have a title. There are some things called Emmet abbreviations though for VS Code. Emmet abbreviations are faster way to write tags, but I'm not using them. But you can use them. Perhaps maybe in another video I'll show you how to use Emmet abbreviations. Let's just write practice here, and I think we can go down to our body. Write body, just write body like real quick here, and come down, we should write something like um yeah, let me just write something, create something like a button. Yeah, so we're going to show you some dual manipulations, ways to grab buttons and stuff like that. So let's say I give this button an ID and I call it, let's say, button ID. What do you know? Button ID, and I also give it a class, and I just call it, let's say, class equals to button class. Yeah, button. Okay, sorry, hyphen class, and inside the button I just want to be written click here. So here we have body. Of course, you guys know we talked about JavaScript in the class. So I told you the two ways to link JavaScript is internal and external. There's no inline in JavaScript unlike CSS. So yeah, you can use in depending on which one you want, you can use. But perhaps maybe we should just use. Okay, let's use external. Let me create a new folder and call it script.js, script.js, and press save here. And let me just write some things like all right, let's link our file first. Remember I told you that the best way to write JavaScript is at the end, towards the end of everything you've written. Of course, src, let's just write our script.js here, script.js here, and close that up. The best way to link JavaScript is at the end, because the browser is meant to read all the interactive things that JavaScript is meant to do last. So let's just write scripts here. So once you have written everything, we can do it. Or it depends. You can put your own script, whatever here. Depending on where you want to put it, you can bring it to the head tag. Where if you can remember, I told you if you are putting a script tag in the head, you need to attach the differ attributes here. So either ways it will work, but I think I'll just put mine at the end of the page. So Control X to cut. So let me save this, and yeah, so we can get started with JavaScript. So handling, let's go to our script. Handling, how do you handle code? So of course, commenting JavaScript, double forward slashes. Let me just check something like real quick. So grabbing grabbing tags, and if you come down, of course, you remember how to create variables with JavaScript. Let's just say let button underscore handle equals to, yeah. Now remember, if we come here to the training.html, you can see that the button tag has an ID and a class. So of course we can grab it with its ID, which is, remember we talked about the DOM. The document here stands for the HTML document. In our case is training.html document or get elements by ID. Yeah, so inside here you just need to specify what you just need to specify the button ID. So I think I can copy it like real quick here, Control C, and bringing it here I would have Control V. Yeah, so we have button ID here. We can just save that. If I just use the document or get element by ID, and if I, let's say, if I want to use the class selector, that's document or get element by class name. Okay, let me just copy this. Control A to copy everything. Control C, bring some things down. Control V. All right, paste, 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 paste. It's loading the paste up. Why is it loading? Let me try paste that again. Or we could just type it. Yeah, JavaScript is loading it up. I don't know why. Button handle, button handle two actually. Button handle two equals to documents the get elements by, yeah, class name, open up some parentheses, and inside you just write what was the class name we gave you. We said, I think we said button class or so. Yeah, button class. So let's just write button class in there. Button class. Yeah, button class. So you can save this now. So we have gotten the button. Either now this let me quickly write that down. Either this or this would work. So I think we can go to the third one. You can also say let button handle three. Let me try the copy paste again. It's still doing the same thing. Alright, so let button handle. Yeah, there's some things called Emmet abbreviations. If you want to write tags real quick, perhaps I'll do another video for that in JavaScript. So button handle three documents doc query selector selector and of course, I told you that the query selector actually accepts both classes, tags, and an ID. So here you need to use, if you want to select the ID, use hashtag button ID like this. Hashtag button ID, or either way for the class, use dot button class here. Hope we get that. So for me, I'll be using hashtag button ID. No, it's not that I'm going to really use this one. I'm okay by the first one, document or get element by ID. I'm not going to use query selector. So hashtag button hyphen ID. This is the third one. Three, and for the last one, let's button handle four equals to document dot query selector. Oh yeah. So for the last one, of course, let's say if we come back to our training.html, let's say if we had multiple button tags or multiple tags that had, let's say, the button ID, and you attach button ID assigned to ID, and you attach, let's see hashtag button ID here. Let's see but hashtag button ID here. Now, what does query selector all do? Query selector is actually going to return an array. Okay, let me just comment that out. Forward slashes query. Sorry if I don't spell it well. Query selector or will return an array. And you remember that arrays are lists in Python. They are just enclosed in square brackets, that you can have things like, for arrays are dynamic, you can have a mixed type of data type there. Let's say jog. Sorry about that. Another thing like Loo or anything generally. A mixture of elements. So uh let's wipe that off. So query selector or return an array of different things. Why? Because it's picking things. Even if it's only one element that has the button ID, to access it, you now need to write something like button handle four. I think we talked about accessing arrays in the last class. You access them by something like this. So you access them by indexing, because arrays are structured data structures. So that's how you access them. So now that we have this, we have the button already, we can actually perform some things. But first of all, you can there's so many ways to fill this in the browser. You can just quickly just come like this and you see open with live server or anything. So all right, okay, let me see this. I'm just showing you guys different way you can view it in your uh what's it called, your file explorer. And if I close this up, if you have, let me see, I think I should have live server here. Open with live server. So live server is actually an extension that opens the web up for you to be able to view your code. So I think that's what it's doing for me right here. It's sort of running the directory of where your code is stored locally. So you can see my button here. So it says set Google Chrome as your default PDF viewer, but no. So this is the button, it's just a dumb button that doesn't do anything. But now that we have grabbed the button, I think we can perform some HTML on it to, sorry, perform some JavaScript on it to make it interactive. So if we come back to our JavaScript, now that we have grabbed it, we can write some things down. So button handle, HANDLE dots. So here, we let me just explain the concept of what is happening. We grabbed our HTML, we grabbed our HTML tag, and I want to perform some things on it. Now, this is actually what is called HTML DOM manipulation. So, just give me a minute, sorry. All right, so we're talking about DOM manipulation. So there are some things like events. There are some things I call events, and now what are events? Now, everything that happens generally on your websites, on your game, in your games are called events. Now, events are those things that a user does. For example, you exit a game, you press a button in a game, you move a character in a game, and even on the website, you click a button. Normally, events are, we are going to talk about that in the next class, but I just want to show you how to, what can grabbing of all these HTML tags do. So, to start an event, I think you use add event listener to listen for different events. JavaScript has already brought that up for me. So when you had event listener, there are different kinds of events. Clicking is an event, mousing out is an event, mousing over is an event. So there are different things. So canceling is an event. So the event that I want to watch out for is the click event here. So in the click event, and I have to write the comma, and I want a function to be activated when that button is clicked. Yeah, so I want a function to be activated now. I can just come down right this. So yeah, so I think, yeah, I need to attach a semicolon to that. Yeah, so when the button is clicked, I want something to happen. Yeah, so yeah, so there are some things called dialog boxes that we'll talk about in the next class, but let me just write it a lot and put something that button has been clicked. Button has been clicked. So this is DOM manipulation. Generally, without JavaScript, with only HTML and CSS, the button won't be able to do that. So I think, yeah, and we need to have our semicolon here. So if we save this now, and yeah, if we actually, guys, so welcome to this video. I think sorry, my laptop's battery went down, so I guess I'm just going to continue with the Trebedi ID for you guys. So here I think we can just create a new project, and yeah, we need to create our HTML files. tutorial.html. Sorry, that was not the HTML. Yeah, tutorial.html. But then we can create new files there. Let me just write. I named the folder tutorial.html, then the HTML file, and we can also add the JavaScript. Let's just call it tutorial.js. So I was trying to explain JavaScript's DOM manipulation. In the video I showed you guys the four ways you can use to access the handle for the tag. So here okay, let me close this. Let me just close all these tabs there real quick. Yeah, so now that we have all our tabs closed, I think we can open up this one. Yeah, so let's quickly write our, of course, HTML syntax. Doc type HTML. Sorry, that's meant to be separated. Yeah, small letter L. Then we have our HTML tag, HTML tag. Then in the HTML tag, we have, of course, the head tag. And the head tag, we should have our title tag that says learning the DOM, or learning about the DOM. Yeah, then after that, we should have yeah, let me just put the script tag in the head. But mind you, I will need to use the file attribute here. So let's just call it tutorial.js. Since that's the name of our JavaScript folder, I will use the file attribute here. If I close this, yeah, so I think we are all set. Then in the body, so is actually in our next class, we're actually really going to go into event listeners. In this class, I'm just going to show you how to grab and look at what's grabbing, you know, a an HTML tag can do. So I think we should just set this to something like button. For now, let's just call the button click me. Yeah, so if we save this and we go to our tutorial.js, let's just quickly grab it. I'm sure you guys saw how to grab it on my laptop. So let handle equals to document. I'm going to use the get element by ID function, or rather method, get element by ID. Then of course, what was the ID name? The ID name was, oh yeah, we have not said the ID name, so let's quickly say ID equals to, yeah, ID equals to handle. Let's just call that handle, save it right there, go to tutorial.js, and sorry, we don't need this. Let's type handle in here, handle, save that, and come here. Yeah, handle. So if we go down now, we can perform some manipulation. So I want to alert the screen. I want to alert the user that anytime this button is clicked, you should tell the user something. And what do I want you to tell the user? The button has been clicked. So I need to add an event listener telling the browser that when the button is clicked, now you see me writing click here. Sorry, if I should right click here, ck, and attach a comma, then I need to write a function to trigger that click. So I'm going to use something called an alert dialog box. We are going to talk a lot more on that in the next class. So I just simply use the alert method and write that, okay, once the button is clicked, I want it to display this button has been clicked successfully. Oh yeah, so this button has been clicked successfully. Don't forget your semicolons and every other thing. So I think it should be done. I think if we should run it now, we should see our button, and if we should click it here, you can see it says this page says this button has been clicked. Now